Hello, it's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. And as we move forward, we're going to start to see many different timelines rapidly produce themselves in front of us. Now, these timelines are these ways consciousness are being basically manifested, are things that we can go down. They can be like, little, roads that we go on that's basically leads nowhere. Or they can be, paths that take us onto basically levels that we want to go on. So consciousness will affect these timelines as we go forward. So consciousness, quantum consciousness is where mainly humanity is heading towards. Basically where neuro-linguistic programming comes into effect, where neurons that fire together, basically work together. Basically, we want to have more people that are firing their neurons in a positive way. So as we move into these higher states of consciousness, we'll see these negative timelines pop up very quickly, because there's a lot of controllers that are out there that are trying to take us off this positive timeline that humanity's basically going towards. So let's look at consciousness levels. I've talked about this in some of my YouTube videos, but right now let's focus on like the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain, as we're seeing right now, in a lot of these riotings, people that are fearful, angry, and stuff like that, they're basically trying to capture a consciousness of humanity and pull it in this negative direction. This COVID-19 pandemic basically is also trying to, create fear, anger, and so forth, and push us into a negative timeline. So when you feel these things coming in, when you see these things coming in, you want to start to really look at them in a more passive way. Have compassion for it, send it love, and keep moving. Because if you get trapped by it, basically you give that energy and you create a timeline that they're trying to create that's negative. So you're going to see a lot of this happen very rapidly as we move forward. So it's very important, because your consciousness, your thought energy is extremely positive. Every one of you, everyone's. So if you get trapped in a negative state of consciousness, you're giving something power. All right. So I've seen this in combat zones. So I spent much of my life in combat zones. So I learned how to basically keep myself in a very serene state, which, many of you were like, how is that even possible? But there is a possibility for that. And it's very important that you do that, because I watched as others did not stay in that state of consciousness, and they're no longer with us. So they would get caught in fear. They would get caught in anger. They would get trapped in a timeline that basically they rapidly went into and disappeared into it. So we're going to start to see, unfortunately, a lot of people start to disappear into these negative timelines. All right. So we're seeing that already. People are getting trapped in negative, and they're basically, ceasing to exist. Like I've said, I've seen this in combat a lot. We're seeing a lot of stuff that's being revealed to us that has been going up for thousands of years, but has been hidden. And a lot of this is the trafficking, human trafficking. It's estimated that 25 million people are basically under human trafficking all over the world. It's unbelievable. So slavery still exists. And many of us really are under a slavery system at this moment. So as we start to expand our consciousness, tap into these higher levels of consciousness, we're going to push past that. Now, the next state of consciousness, the reptilian brain, we move up into the mammalian brain, which is basically where a lot of people are. So you have, a portion of humanity that are trapped in the fear, the anger. They're, wiping themselves out. I've seen this, like I said, in combat zones. I was able to stay above that and move through that. But then we have the next level, which is mammalian brain, which is basically a sheeple brain. So we see a lot of people that get caught in this sheeple mentality. Now, a lot of you are looking or will look at this video, on all my social media platforms where I put it, and you're going to look at it and go, how many people liked it? And if a lot of people like it, then you're going to look at it. But if not a lot of people like it, you're not going to look at it. So that's that sheeple mentality that a lot of us are seeing right now. So you need to take the initiative. You need to start to move into these higher states of consciousness that are going to bring in positive occurrences into your life. And only when you have that love energy vibration do you go into that. Now, in the higher states of consciousness where you have the critical thinking, you look at things and you're like, that doesn't look right. That's where you start to fire into eventually the intuitive states of consciousness, that rarefied field that where most of us are going to go. All right. So I believe that a very large portion of humanity is actually going to go into these higher states of five-dimensional consciousness. And when we move into those five-dimensional states of consciousness, those people that are not ready for that will not go. All right. They cannot exist in that vibrational field. So we're seeing right now, like if we look all the way back down the levels of consciousness down to the fear-based people, the people that are angry, fearful, and so forth, the people that are rioting, the people that are, getting caught up in that energy, that fear and negativity. We see it on social media all the time where people look at people that are very positive towards, President Donald Trump, and they have these freak out sessions on YouTube. This is a fear, negative consciousness, basically will not go into these higher states of consciousness where mainly most of humanity is going. They cannot vibrate there, all right? We're seeing that. So this is important as we move forward, that you start to understand these different levels of consciousness and not let yourself get wrapped up in them, not let yourself get sucked into a negative zone of consciousness. So the higher levels of consciousness, like the love energy, sending out love to people that need it, that have those little, meltdowns on social media that are seem really stupid. Send them love, help them out a little bit. Some of them, it's not going to make any difference. So, but still, you send them love. You get practice in the ability to send the love, to be in the love. That's where we're going to go. All right. So we're all going to, link consciousness in these higher dimensional realms. So these higher dimensional realms, I believe many of us have already started to exist in these higher dimensional realms. And it's just a matter of time before we're constantly in that zone. So going forward, stay in love vibration. And yes, there will be a YouTube tonight, guys. And great advice. Thank you. And as we go forward, more of us are going to start to connect with this. We'll help other people, and that's the thing that really takes us into these zones of consciousness. So remember, when you see it's going to happen very, very rapidly moving forward, you see these negative timelines pop up. Stay positive. Stay in the love vibration. Send it love, and just keep on going.